Bus in Singapore is efficient, clean, affordable to ride, fully air-conditioned with high frequency and reliability, a level of service that is unmatchable in any other cities in Southeast Asia. Before the bus transformation in 1973, buses in the Lion City had a reputation of being overcrowded, unpunctual, often broken down and delays due to worker strikes. What makes Singapore achieve the current high standard of the city bus operation compared with the rest of the world? Let's take a jolly ride and determine if the bus system in Singapore is the most perfect in the world. In the early 20th century Singapore, people moved around the island with a variety of public transportation modes: trishaw, rickshaw, bullock cart, tram, steam train, lorry, etc. By the middle of the 20th century, bus is the most dominant of all and pushed most of the other public transport modes out from the roads. How were the bus services in the early days of the Red Dot, and how did the bus achieve its standard, the high standard that it has today? The earliest form of bus in the early 20th century Singapore were trolley bus, which was powered by overhead electric wires, and agile small but noisy small motor bus, better known as mosquito bus. By time, motor bus was eventually known simply as bus. In the early days of modern Singapore, privately owned bus companies were known to have a reputation as the hotbed of the radical socialist movement against the British rule due to long working hours and low wages. On 12th of May 1955, Hockley bus riots happened after the mediation between picketed bus drivers and the government failed. The bus drivers were fired earlier when they tried to unionize on that year, and the radical wing of the students and the workers' unions joined the cause of the bus drivers, the picketed bus drivers, and incited the riot. It's a long story. By 1965, there were 11 bus companies which were government-owned Singapore Traction Company or STC and 10 privately owned Chinese bus companies, of which all of them were competing against each other. There was neither coordination nor cooperation, only competition. Bus companies focused on the profitable routes while marginalizing the unprofitable routes into the kampong or villages. Intense competition resulted to low profit, which led to broken down buses, delayed repair works, and workers' strike due to low pay and long working hours. In addition, the non-existent bus integration means long bus ride duration, separate tickets, which led to more cost to the passengers and multiple transfers. Meanwhile, the trolley bus service has been terminated in the year 1962 due to aging fleet, high maintenance costs, and slow maximum speed of only 40 km per hour. The situation is not unique only in Singapore. The trolley bus service was terminated in Penang in 1960 due to similar reasons. I talked about the former tram and trolley bus in Penang in the previous video, where the tram and trolley bus services were terminated due to heavy competition from privately owned mosquito bus and later diesel bus, the big one. If you want to know more about the topic, the link to watch this video is up here. In 1973, the government intervened by revamping the bus operation, 3 years after the publication of the white paper on the reorganization of the Motor Transport Service of Singapore. All remaining 3 private bus operators were amalgamated into one, which each of the former owners held the shares of the new unified bus company. As a result, the revamp has reduced the operating bus company into just one, Singapore Bus Service or SPS. Nationwide monopoly of bus services caused some issues such as overcrowding, time punctuality, and focus on more profitable routes over the unprofitable ones. In 1974, Scheme B, or officially Supplementary Public Transport Services, was introduced to allow privately owned charter buses to be operated as city buses on the rush hour. In 1975, Singapore Shuttle Bus or SSB was established as Park and Ride, while its subsidiary Trans Island Bus Services or TIBS was established in 1983. Tips later took over SSB in 1987 and acquired by SMRT and become SMRT buses in 2004. In 2014, Bus Contracting Model or BCM was introduced to maintain the high quality of bus services. Under BCM, a bus operator need to bid and operate the lines under tender for 5 to 10 years, then the lines are open for bidding again. Therefore, a bus operator need to maintain the cleanliness and to minimize the bus delay or disruption, or other operators will take over in the next bidding. Currently, there are 4 city bus operators in Singapore, which are SPS Transit, SMRT Buses, Tower Transit Singapore and Go Ahead Singapore. Only the operator branding is different. The clearest difference: the bus color, the seating, fare price, fare collection and efficiency level of all the city buses are in as much similar. Bus lane is the key of bus efficiency in Singapore, which was introduced as part of the bus revamp exercise in 1973. When Area Licensing Scheme or ALS was introduced in 1975 to discourage the private vehicles entering the city during rush hour, bus is one of the vehicle types that was exempt from the ALS. ALS was replaced by ERP or Electronic Road Pricing in the year 1998, but unlike ALS, bus need to pay ERP. Bus lane not only allows for a faster bus journey, it allows higher bus speed, high bus frequency and quick boarding and unboarding time. In a research paper published in the year 2017, a bus took an average of 8.84 seconds to decelerate before bus bays and 11.35 seconds to accelerate, while a bus took an average of 8.53 seconds to decelerate before curbside bus stops and 9.73 seconds to accelerate. The difference of time saving of bus using curbside stop like in the bus lane rather than the bus bay like this one might be too small to notice, only a few milliseconds. But these milliseconds of time savings could accumulate to become minutes of time savings, because time is money in the most expensive city in the world. Thus, bus stops on the bus lane not only makes the bus move faster, it makes the bus more punctual than time-consuming bus bay. Other than bus, the permitted vehicles on the bus lane are bicycle riders, emergency vehicles which are not too bothering the bus movement, while the other vehicles need to share the rest of the road. There are 3 types of bus lanes in Singapore, which are normal lane, which is restricted to buses from 7:30 to 9:30 am and 5 to 8 pm except weekends and public holidays. Restricted lane, which is restricted to bus from 7:30 am to 11 pm except Sundays and public holidays, and all day lane, which is restricted to bus at all times. The best example is at Bencoolen Street. By looking at the bus lane map around Singapore, the bus lane largely mirrors the MRT alignment. Interesting. Currently, there is no bus lane on the expressways like what Seoul has. The upcoming North-South Corridor or NSC linking Nicole Highway and Admiralty scheduled to be opened by stages from 2027. The first expressway in Singapore that will has a dedicated bus lane. Initially, the expressway project was named as North-South Expressway or NSE, but its name similarity with the expressway in the northern neighbour is quite uncanny. When the bus services was revamped in 1973, the paper tickets were still in use. By 1984, bus conductors are no longer needed. Transit-linked store value magnetic tickets was introduced in 1991 to allow transfers and multiple journeys between bus and MRT with a single ticket. Like for example, this one is an absolute MRT magnetic tickets, but you get the idea. Contactless cards such as EasyLink was introduced in 2002 and NETS was accepted at public transport since 2009. Unlike magnetic tickets, a contactless card is reusable with top-up, more durable and comes in various designs and shapes. Tap and go. Selected bus stop names were renamed to the nearest MRT station. The change is helpful as information board at the bus stop could display which MRT stations at the bus lines serve. Bus interchanges makes the bus less idling and always moving on the road. Unlike in other countries, idle buses are not at the bus base near the platform but at the parking within the interchange. The bus only approaching the platform to board and unboard the passengers, making the optimal use of the limited space in the city-state. Let's answer the title of this video. Is Singapore's bus system the most perfect in the world? One of the best in the world? Yes, perfect. There are several issues that are worthy to look upon. Number 1. No information board on board. There is an information board on most of the bus stops which display route names and which bus number pass through a specific route. However, there is no information board on board the bus of what is the next bus stop and its terminal. The only ways to know the current location are by looking at the card tapping device near the door, Google Maps, and looking outside with the good old eyeballs. In comparison, all buses in Seoul are equipped with live information board even if the bus is an old bus and live information board at major bus stops. Heck, even the feeder bus serving MRT stations in Kuala Lumpur have information board inside. Number 2. Access for disabled. Until in the early 2000s, disabled were generally avoided, bus in particular and the whole public transport including MRT in general. Today, all buses are equipped with wheelchair ramp to allow barrier-free access. However, the hindrances still exist. Lack of information board means that the blind and the learning disabled need to guess where is the current bus location. The unfolding of bus wheelchair ramp takes time and often the ramp operates manually. In comparison, it is a less hassle to ride MRT and LRT with barrier-free access that allows people with disability and the elderly on the wheelchair to travel independently. Number 3. Cross-border bus and express bus. Other than the 4 city bus operators in the city-state, there are Malaysian cross-border buses commuting between Singapore and neighbouring Johor Bahru. The bus carrying workers, students, shoppers, travellers, all sorts of passengers across Strait of the Brown. The main cross-border bus station is Queen Street near Bugis, but there are other cross-border bus stops throughout Singapore such as in Kranji, Newton and Jurong Town Hall Interchange. Singaporean bus operators also operate several cross-border lines from Woodland Bus Interchange, Queen Street, Kranji and Jurong Town Hall Interchange. Due to massive traffic during rush hour and absence of bus lane between the border crossing because Singapore and Malaysia are hard to agree on everything, the cross-border trip on the bus could take up to 3 hours to travel 1 km from JB to Woodlands, which is not unusual. In addition to the cross-border bus between the Causeway or Second Link, there are Malaysian express buses which regularly travel between Singapore and major Malaysian cities. The issue is the drop-off and pick-up points of express buses to and from Malaysia are scattered across the city area due to the absence of centralised express bus terminal. The common bus drop-off and pick-up point is Golden Mile Complex, but the complex has been closed since 2023 and earmarked for a new future development. There are other express bus stops such as at Bugis Exit D, Novena Square, Star Vista, Kovan Hub, Grantal Mall and Katong V Mall to name a few. Often the express bus stops are the mall lobby or just an existing bus stops at the roadside in front of the mall. Irregular stops without any clear signage and proper platform could expose the unfamiliar travellers with ticket scams or boarding the wrong bus. In comparison, Malaysian cities do have express bus terminals as bus is the cheapest long-distance public transportation. In the case of railless cities such as Kuala Terengganu and Kuantan, express bus is the only existing long-distance land public transport available. The express bus terminal design in Malaysia varied from airport-like TBS and Penang Central to temporary architecture such as at Kota Baru, temporary for 10 years already. Is there any room for the improvement of bus service in Singapore? Yes, there is. The service is one of the best but far from perfect. In conclusion, Singapore has learned from the past and from other cities such as London and Perth to reach the bus system efficiency that the world knew today. The system is still far from perfect and there is always a room for an improvement. Such the viewpoint of an outsider such as myself who make comparison of a Singaporean bus service with the unpunctual and unsystematic bus system in Kuala Lumpur. The view might be differ from Singaporeans watching this video or Johorian or who commute to Singapore every workdays or the weekends and other foreign visitors. The perception might be different. Do you think Singapore bus services are already in perfect shape or still need an improvement? You can comment down below. If you want to ride the bus in Singapore, the acceptable payment methods are contactless cards such as EZ-Link and NETS. In addition, Visa and MasterCard, both credit and debit cards, are accepted on the bus since 2019. For an unlimited daily journey as a tourist, there is Tourist Pass card, which is sold in selected MRT stations and selected Cheers convenience stores. Payment for cross-border buses varied by operator, usually by cash or EZ-Link or NETS or Visa card. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something new about the excellent bus system in Singapore and the imperfectness of the cross-border bus system. Thank you so much again for watching and see you in the next video.